everybody, it's Meg and Happy New Year, Happy 2026. I feel like I dropped off the face of the earth on this channel and on my bookish platforms in general. In December I originally had loads of content planned, but then I was ill and I feel like December is never a good month for me when it comes to booktube. I think by the end of it I'm always burnt out, I always need a rest, so it never goes to plan. But I'm back again for the new year and we are starting with some of the classic booktube New Year content. I know I'm probably a little bit late for posting and filming these videos, but I love doing them, so I'm gonna, share them and film them anyway. So obviously for the first video of this year I had to do my anticipated releases for 2026, and I don't have many releases that I have on my radar that I want to get this year. All of these books that I'm going to talk about today I have already pre-ordered, but yeah, I only have 5 books on this list, which isn't a lot, and I don't think I did a lot last year. Obviously there will be more releases. This is for the first half of the year. Obviously there will be more releases in the second half of the year that will be really announced maybe in the spring or summer, books that will be coming out then. But for in the meantime, these are ones that I've got. They're either from authors that I've already read, and I've got maybe one new author. I'm really excited about all of these books. Very much looking forward to getting to them. So I think without further ado, let's get into the video. So I have 3 releases for January, and then I have one for July and one for August. So for the first January release, which came out on the 1st of January, is I Don't Think I'm Straight by Isabella Daughter. And I've been following Isabella for a while. She is a poet. I think she became well known via TikTok, and I've been following her for ages. I think she's a really cool person, but I've never felt inclined to pick up any of her work until she announced this. This sounds really interesting. It's kind of a novel in verse ish. I don't know if it's completely that. I think it's mainly a memoir-ish poetry collection, but also kind of a novel. It's that kind of thing. I'm not quite sure, but it says a coming of age story coming out told through poetry, and I believe Isabella is pan, and it's something that she came out as pan maybe last year or something like that. So this is just a collection of queer poems, I'm assuming, talking about her experience of realising and coming to terms that she is pan, and I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I love any fiction, poetry, non-fiction, any books that have queer representation in them, so I'm really intrigued to try this out. I'll let you guys know what I think. It shouldn't take me too long to read because obviously it's in poetry, it's in sections, so yeah, I'm really intrigued, and I really hope that I like her work. Then the second book that is coming out in January is Cherry Magic Volume 15, and I don't know how much I've talked about Cherry Magic on my channel. I think I have a little bit, but I love Cherry Magic. I have watched the anime about 3 times. I've read all of the manga up to the most recent volume, which came out last year, volume 14, and I think it's such a sweet story. I was a bit hesitant originally when I went into it because the full title is Cherry Magic 30 Years of Virginity Can Make You a Wizard. It's a bit bizarre, I guess, as a lot of manga titles are, but it's such a sweet story about our 2 characters, Adachi and Kurosawa, and about them falling in love, and it's nice that the story is carried on even, spoiler alert, after Adachi has lost his mind reading powers, which he gained from turning 30 and still being a virgin. But I'm looking forward to seeing where the story goes with this, because they introduced a new character in volume 14, and he's a bit, maybe 2 characters, and I'm a bit concerned what's going to happen. If anybody touches Kurosawa and Adachi and try to ruin their relationship, they are in big trouble. I will not allow it. But I think from what I gather, this volume also covers a lot about Minato and I think his name is Tuji. I think that's how you pronounce it. But like the side characters, I think it focuses on them quite a lot because they are on the front cover of this volume. And I think that's the first time that's happened actually in the series so far, that they're on the front cover. So I'm assuming most of this volume is going to talk about their story. So yeah, I'm intrigued. You know, I can't really talk about any of it more than that because otherwise, you know, spoilers. But I'm really looking forward to reading this. I love this series with my whole heart. So yeah, this is actually the only manga release that I have at the moment that, you know, is a pre-order. So we'll see if there's any more in the future, but this is like obviously the early one, but also one that I'm really looking forward to. And the last book that is going to be released in January is The Elsewhere Express by Samantha Soto Yambao, and this comes out on the 22nd of January. And Watermoon was her first book to be published in the UK, and it was also one of my favourite books of last year. I loved it. Obviously you guys should know I'm not a fantasy girly, but this was such a beautiful fantasy. It's like a Japanese fantasy. It definitely gives Studio Ghibli vibes, which I'm all about. It's the first book I've ever read that gives that kind of vibe. The writing was gorgeous. I loved the story, the characters, I loved everything about it. And I don't know a lot about this book, about the Elsewhere Express. I'm pretty sure it has a magical train, seeing as it says Elsewhere Express and it's got a train on the front of it. But I don't really know any more than that, to be quite honest, and I don't really want to know. I've pre-ordered the Waterstones exclusive edition, which is stunning. I do have the exclusive edition of Watermoon as well. But yeah, I'm so excited to read this book. It's definitely one I'm going to be getting to as soon as it arrives, because I'm just so excited to read it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So maybe I will feature that in a reading vlog at some point, because I'm pretty sure I did for the most part for Watermoon as well. But yeah, if you like want a stunning, beautiful, like Ghibli-esque kind of fantasy, I definitely recommend Samantha Soto Yambao's books. I haven't read any of her backlist yet. I'm definitely intrigued to look into it. So, but yeah, I'm really excited for this new release, and I hope I love it as much as I did for Watermoon. Now we're skipping all the way to July, and this book should be no surprise to anybody, and I think The World and His Wife are going to be pre-ordering and buying this book, because it is long awaited. So if you haven't guessed already, it is Heartstopper Volume 6 by Alice Oseman, which comes out on the 2nd of July, which is the week before my birthday. Yes, I think Heartstopper has taken over the world, and I love that. I love the story from the moment it came out. I think I must have bought it on the week it came out, and I fell in love with it, as so many other people have. It's such a beautiful story about like friendship, first love, lots of queer representation obviously, and yeah, I'm just really intrigued to see how it wraps up. I am pretty sure that part of it is included. I'm not sure because there's the Nick and Charlie novella, and I can't remember where that lies within volume 6. So maybe it's part of it, maybe it isn't. I'm pretty sure the Nick and Charlie novella is part of the Heartstopper film, which is, I'm assuming, going to come out this year. I'm assuming it's going to come out after volume 6 has been released. That's my assumption at any rate, because I feel like we need to read the source material that Alice wrote first for this story. So yeah, I'm going to be very sad that this has finished, but also I'm really excited to see how it ends. And I'm sure Alice will do a absolutely stunner job, just like she has with the rest of the story. And then the last book that I have on this list, at least for the time being, is in August, and that is Bridget and Gabe Are Not Okay by Lex Croucher, which comes out on the 13th of August. I love Lex's books. They are like some of my favourites. I love their historical fiction. You all know I love historical fiction. Gwen and Art Are Not in Love is the first book in the series. I think this is just going to be a duology, and it was one of my favourite books when I read it a couple of years ago. It's one of my favourite books of that year when I read it, and it's like a medieval, like Arthur, Knights of the Round Table kind of retelling, and it's really satisfactory how it ends, but from what I've heard Lex talk about Bridge and Gabe Are Not Okay, it's like a continuation, because obviously, you know, life isn't that simple. It's not always tied up with a neat bow, and at the end of the day these characters are teenagers, and it's going through the trials and tribulations of their relationships, of them, like, you know, being knights, running kingdoms, all of those kind of things. It's kind of like an amalgamation of that, and I hope that it turns out good in the end, but I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to being back with these characters. I think it's such like a beautiful, like, little group, like friendship group. I think it's really stunning. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this. It's definitely going to be, again, one of the books that I want to get to ASAP as soon as it arrives in the post. So those are all the books that are on my anticipated releases list for 2026. Like I said, I know it's not a lot, but I would rather pick and choose, and be more picky with this list. And also, like I said, there will be more releases announced kind of in like the spring and the summer and later on in the year. And I'm hoping that Laura Wood will also announce a book, because as you can tell, there's no Laura Wood book on this list. She hasn't announced anything. I know she's writing. I'd like to think she's going to publish one book this year, maybe two. I'm praying for a historical fiction, not going to lie, but we will see. But yeah, obviously I will probably talk about some more anticipated releases later on in the year once they've been announced, but these are the ones that I have my eye on at the moment, that I have, like I said, I pre-ordered all of these. I'm really looking forward to reading them, and I'm really excited for all of the other like new releases that are going to be announced later on in 2026. Let me know in the comments what books are on your anticipated releases list for 2026. Obviously I'm always looking for more recommendations. I hope that maybe I inspired you to pre-order some of these books that I am looking forward to reading. Pre-ordering is so important. It's so important for the author, for the publishing houses, to show that there is interest, that people want to read these books. So I highly recommend that if you are able to, obviously, to pre-order books whenever you can, just to support your authors, like all the authors, your favourite authors. It really does mean a lot in terms of like in the publishing industry. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you have a really magical 2026. I feel like it's going to be a great year. I want it to be the year for me. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully my next video will be my favourite books of 2025, which I'm really looking forward to talking to you guys about. So you'll probably see that as my next video, and I'm looking forward to getting back into creating content again a little bit more on a regular basis, and we will just see where this year takes us. Hopefully it'll be so much fun. If you guys like this video, I would really appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already. I will leave the links to my social media along with my Goodreads in the description down below for you guys if you would like to see more bookish content that you will not find on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you again very soon. Bye guys!